Su Zizai and Zhang Lurong found themselves spending the new year in Jiangyi together, a first for them as a couple, with Su Zizai staying to accompany her uncle. As snow began to fall, Su Zizai recalled a wish she had made the previous winter to be with Zhang Lurong when it snowed again, noting that it had come true. Playfully, she mentioned her eyes felt cold, when she then claimed she couldn't see and needed him to hold her hand. He embraced her. Su Zizai reflected on how winter was perfectly suited for romance, providing natural reasons for closeness, like hugging amidst the wind and snow or using the warmth of roasted sweet potatoes as an excuse to hold hands. Time passed, and the friends reached their graduation internship period. Zhang Lurong pursued flight vehicle manufacturing, passionately describing flying as humanity's most romantic pursuit and himself as a conductor of air currents, which inspired Su Zizai to strive just as hard. Their friends were also on their own paths. Jiang Jia became an intern reporter at a TV station. Guanfang was busy with graduation preparations, and Gu Ran, studying abroad, was often absent from their group calls due to the time difference and his demanding schedule. Despite being busy, everyone was shining in their respective fields. On graduation day, Su Zizai, who planned to move back to Jiangyi and rent a place with Zhang Lurong, assumed he would be too busy at his company to attend her ceremony. To her delight, he appeared with a bouquet, explaining that he didn't want to miss any of her significant moments and knew she would want to share her happiness. After graduating, the couple returned to Jiangyi and moved into their new apartment. Zhang Lurong had already set up the place with his belongings, eagerly waiting for Su Zizai's things to make it truly their home. Su Zizai playfully remarked on how soft her bed was and suggested he join her to test it that night. Taking her jest seriously, Zhang Lurong gently pushed her onto the bed and kissed her, declaring that they didn't need to wait until nightfall. Su Zizai began her internship as a translator in a data department. When a colleague commented on the ceremonial act of displaying her boyfriend's photo, Su Zizai relayed Zhang Lurong's advice that filling a new environment with personal items helps create a sense of belonging. Their bond deepened despite their busy schedules. One evening, Su Zizai waited for Zhang Lurong after he worked late. Exhausted, he rested his head on her shoulder, joking that he needed to recharge. After watching a movie together, Su Zizai playfully interviewed him for a rating. He gave it a perfect score, explaining the movie itself was worth 50 points, but the person he watched it with made it 100. While packing to return home, Gu Ran's roommate asked for his limited edition game. Gu Ran refused, stating it was for a close friend who loved gaming. The roommate then pointed out a carefully wrapped ring, guessing it was for someone significant, which made Gu Ran think of Jiang Jia. The five friends later had a video call. Jiang Jia was on the street near Tiananmen Bridge, waiting for an interview subject. Noticing she was cold, Gu Ran secretly ordered a scarf to be delivered to her. Jiang Jia accepted the anonymous gift, touched by the gesture. Su Zizai mused that Gu Ran and Jiang Jia might get along more harmoniously now compared to their bickering high school days. Zhang Lurong, however, commented that he felt their relationship was already quite good, based on his intuition. While walking together, Zhang Lurong and Su Zizai ran into their high school acquaintance, Wang Nan, who correctly guessed they were a couple, noting Su Zizai's affection for Zhang Lurong was obvious back then. Soon after, Gu Ran returned, and the five friends finally reunited for a karaoke night. Guanfang revealed he had declined a job offer to stay in Jiangyi to be near his grandmother and friends. Later, Guanfang and Su Zizai both became inebriated after just one drink. Seeing her discomfort, Zhang Lurong carried a tipsy Su Zizai home, vowing to never let her drink again. Su Zizai embarked on a business trip. When Zhang Lurong's colleagues invited him to a gathering, he declined, explaining he needed to call his girlfriend. He confessed to them that contrary to what they might think, he was the clingy one in their relationship. His colleagues, observing his devotion, wondered what his girlfriend was like, picturing someone gentle, poised, understanding, and quiet. Later, Su Zizai called Zhang Lurong, excited about seeing an actor who resembled Guanfang. She described her hotel sea view and a local noodle shop, though she admitted their university spot was better. Before her client meeting, she confessed her nervousness, but Zhang Lurong calmed her by reminding her of her past successes. The business dinner with a British company went smoothly, which was credited to the connections of their partner, Mr. Wei. He praised Su Zizai for her fluent translation and professionalism, but then pressured her to drink wine. Su Zizai politely declined, explaining her low tolerance, and offered to toast with tea. Unfazed, Mr. Wei then insisted she eat, even after she said she wasn't hungry. Finally, he dismissively suggested she go enjoy the views outside while the others finished their meal. Su Zizai found herself outside, having been encouraged to leave a work event. She tried to order food, but the restaurant was reservation only. A colleague approached her, bringing a few cold buns, and advised her to go home. She explained that their manager, Mr. Chan, had given permission for her to depart, suggesting it was best to avoid their boss, Mr. Wei, who was heavily drinking inside and might cause trouble if he saw her. Su Zizai thanked her colleague and left. Soon after, Zhang Lurong called Su Zizai. She attempted to sound cheerful, describing a supposedly lavish dinner with roasted duck, brined chicken, candied apples, and spicy boiled meat slices. However, Zhang Lurong immediately detected the sadness in her voice and asked why she was crying. She admitted to feeling homesick after seeing a bus stop sign for Jiangyi Road. Zhang Lurong offered to come pick her up, but she insisted it was too late and that she would buy the earliest ticket home the next day. She then asked him if she had done anything wrong, to which he firmly reassured her that she hadn't before her phone died. Later, at a bus stop, Su Zai watched the last bus leave. The driver advised her to go home, but she explained she didn't live there. Alone, she wished for an anywhere door to take her home. A voice from her memory echoed, questioning her inability to handle such social gatherings. Suddenly, Zhang Lurong appeared in his car, explaining he knew she had been mistreated and came to take her home. Back at home, Zhang Lurong prepared a meal for Su Zai. As she ate, she worried he might be tired from the 3-hour drive and wondered if she was a nuisance. He tenderly told her he wouldn't have slept soundly if he hadn't come for her, emphasizing that not everything should be judged by its worth. He wished for her to trouble him more often. Su Zai, touched, playfully covered her ears, remarking that by covering them, his words would stay in her mind. Zhang Lurong then asked if the noodles were too salty, as it had been a while since he last cooked. Su Zai smiled, saying they weren't salty at all, but rather sweet, suggesting the cook himself was overloaded with sweetness. Meanwhile, Gu Ran called Jiang Jia to invite her to a new couple's restaurant opened by his friend, but she had prior plans. Not wanting to waste his reservation, Gu Ran brought Zhang Lurong and Guan Fong instead. To his dismay, Jiang Jia arrived at the same restaurant with a male friend. Zhang Lurong and Guan Fong immediately noticed Gu Ran's distress, with Zhang Lurong pointedly asking why Gu Ran hadn't confessed his feelings, stating it was too obvious. Gu Ran confessed his fear, believing Jiang Jia preferred someone kind and thoughtful and worried that a failed confession would ruin their friendship. However, in a sudden burst of resolve, he declared his intention to confess. He sought advice from his friends, but Zhang Lurong had no experience, and Guan Fong offered only a history of failed attempts. Realizing he was on his own, Gu Ran decided his strategy would be to discuss Jiang Jia's favorite foods. Later, Gu Ran waited at a street corner for Jiang Jia. When she appeared, he engaged her in small talk about her dinner before abruptly saying goodnight and leaving. Jiang Jia was left speechless. Gu Ran later recounted the encounter to his friends, convinced Jiang Jia's good night was a positive sign, though they dismissed it as wishful thinking. When Guan Fong mentioned an upcoming high school alumni gathering, Zhang Lurong stated he and Su Zai would be too busy to attend. However, upon hearing from Zhang Lurong that Jiang Jia would be there, Gu Ran instantly canceled his prior plans to drink with friends and called Jiang Jia, asking her for help picking out an outfit. At the alumni gathering, Gu Ran meticulously positioned himself to display his perfect side profile. Jiang Jia approached him, noting his altered appearance, and he in turn complimented her new dress. Their conversation was cut short when an alumnus, Sun Yuan, asked Jiang Jia to dance. Gu Ran tried to interject, claiming Jiang Jia wasn't a good dancer, but she surprisingly agreed to dance with Sun Yuan, leaving Gu Ran disappointed. Later, Sun Yuan's friend approached Gu Ran, seeking details about Jiang Jia, and revealing that Sun Yuan had a long-standing crush. Gu Ran feigned ignorance, claiming he didn't know Jiang Jia well. Soon after, Fu Yao approached Gu Ran and casually revealed that Jiang Jia had liked him for ages. Gu Ran was baffled, but Fu Yao clarified, explaining that Jiang Jia had once expressed reluctance to date a good friend, but then added, "But if it's Gu Ran, that'd be nice." The truth dawned on Gu Ran, and he immediately ran to find Jiang Jia. He found her finishing a conference call. Gu Ran confessed that there was something he didn't finish telling her the night before they watched the sunrise. He then produced a love letter he had written 5 years ago after leaving the country, explaining he had tried countless times to give it to her, but never found the courage. He asked for the honor of reading it aloud. In the letter, Gu Ran poured out his heart, describing how he never wanted to be cured of his feelings for her. He confessed that he once thought he'd loudly declare his love, but instead became timid when he actually fell in love. He revealed he secretly kept a photo of her for 5 years, and how seeing her dance with another man filled him with a jealousy that went far beyond friendship. He concluded simply by stating, "I like you." Jiang Jia responded, acknowledging that she too didn't see him as just a friend. The friends reunited after the gathering. Guan Fong humorously lamented his single status, playfully demanding the game console Gu Ran had promised him. Gu Ran, now playfully asserting that Jiang Jia was in charge of him, agreed to give Guan Fong the console but refused to play with him. Guan Fong then pressed Zhang Lurong and Su Zai about their marriage plans, claiming he already had their wedding gift money ready. Zhang Lurong revealed his intention to propose to Su Zai as soon as he completed his current project. If you love the story, subscribe for the next episode.